the birthday that changed everything. The afternoon sun filtered through the tall windows of Riverside Park's community center, casting gentle golden rectangles across the polished wooden floor. The air carried the sweet scent of vanilla frosting, and the distant sound of children's laughter from the playground outside. In the corner of the large room, beneath a cluster of rainbow balloons that swayed lazily in the air conditioning's whisper, sat a small table set for one. Emma Richardson adjusted her position in her wheelchair, her fingers tracing the edge of the white tablecloth. Before her sat a beautiful birthday cake, 3 layers of chocolate with pink roses made of buttercream, and 12 candles waiting to be lit. The cake was perfect, just like everything else her father had arranged. The decorations were elegant. The venue was lovely, and the catering was flawless. Everything was perfect, except for one small detail that seemed to grow larger with each passing minute. She was alone. Emma glanced at the watch on her thin wrist. The party had been scheduled to start 30 minutes ago. Her father, David Richardson, CEO of Richardson Industries, had sent out beautiful invitations to all her classmates 3 weeks in advance. He had chosen this venue carefully, ensuring it was fully accessible. He had hired the best caterer in town. He had even arranged for a photographer to capture every moment. But he couldn't arrange for friends to show up. The heavy doors at the entrance remained closed, and the sound of Emma's own breathing seemed to echo in the spacious room. She understood, of course. Ever since the accident 2 years ago, the one that had left her paralyzed from the waist down, things had been different. Not just her legs, but everything. The way people looked at her, spoke to her, or more often, avoided speaking. To her altogether. Her classmates weren't mean. They simply didn't know what to say, how to act around her wheelchair, how to include her in their games and conversations. So gradually, invisibly, she had faded from their world. Birthday party invitations had stopped coming her way, and now, it seemed, the favor was being returned. Emma heard footsteps approaching from behind. She didn't turn around, assuming it was one of the catering staff checking on the untouched refreshment table. Instead, a gentle voice spoke softly. "Excuse me," the voice said, warm and careful. "I hope you don't mind me asking, but are you having a party?" Emma turned her wheelchair around to see a man in his 30s, with kind brown eyes and slightly rumpled clothes that suggested he'd been chasing someone small around a playground. Behind him, partially hidden behind his legs, was a little boy who couldn't have been more than 5 years old. The child had the same brown eyes as his father and chocolate smudges around his mouth. Yes, Emma said quietly. "It's my birthday." "Party. I'm Emma," the man smiled, and it reached his eyes in a way that made Emma's chest feel a little less tight. "I'm Michael, and this shy guy behind me is my son Jake. We were just finishing up at the playground when Jake spotted your balloons through the window." Jake peeked out from behind his father's legs, his eyes wide with curiosity rather than the pity Emma had grown accustomed to seeing. "Are those balloons for your birthday?" he asked in the direct way that only small children could manage. "They are," Emma replied, and found herself almost smiling. Michael looked around the empty room, then back at Emma. His expression was gentle, understanding without being pitying. "You know," he said slowly, "Jake and I were just talking about how we wished we had somewhere special to celebrate today. He learned to tie his shoes all by himself this morning, his first time. We were going to get ice cream, but—" He paused, looking down at his son, then back at Emma. "Would it be okay if we joined you? We'd love to help you celebrate." Emma blinked, surprised by the sudden tightness in her throat. You want to stay?" "Only if you'd like us to," Michael said, gently. "Jake's been working on his singing voice, and I happen to know Happy Birthday by heart." Jake nodded enthusiastically, finally stepping out from behind his father. "I can sing really loud," he announced proudly. "And I like cake. What kind is it?" "Chocolate," Emma said, her voice stronger now. "With pink roses." "Pink roses are beautiful," Jake said seriously, as if this was a very important observation. Michael pulled out one of the empty chairs at Emma's table. "May we?" he asked. Emma nodded, feeling something warm uncurling in her chest. "Please." As Michael helped Jake into a chair and took one himself, the room suddenly felt less cavernous, less echoing. Jake chattered easily about the playground, about his shoelace victory, about how he thought pink roses on cake was probably the best idea anyone had ever had. "Should we light the candles?" Michael asked, producing a lighter from his pocket. Emma nodded, and as each small flame flickered to life, the golden afternoon light seemed to grow warmer, more welcoming. Jake counted each candle carefully, his small voice filling the space. "Between them, 12, he announced. "That's so many. You must be really grown up. When all the candles..."